Buying or selling a home in California comes with a bunch of things nobody really warns you about. Honestly, it's kind of like childbirth. If everyone told you the real story up front, you might never do it. Yet once it's over, you forget about the pain and you're glad you took the leap. Same thing with buying or selling a house. When you finally close, move in and settle down, the frustration fades and you're just grateful you made it through. But in the moment, it can feel messy, stressful, and downright exhausting. So today, I want to walk you through some of the realities and inconveniences of real estate transactions, so you're prepared, calm, and confident when it's your turn. Hi, I'm Nathan King. I'm a real estate agent here in California. On this channel, I break down real estate in a way that's honest, practical, and actually useful without all the fluff. If you find value in videos like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future market updates, behind the scenes tips, and real estate life advice for navigating California real estate. All right, let's get into it. Most people don't realize there are actually 3 negotiations in almost every transaction. The first one is an obvious one, price and terms. You make an offer, tweak a couple things, shake hands, and boom, you celebrate. But then comes negotiation number 2, the appraisal. If it comes in at value, great, but appraisals don't always match the contract price. Sometimes buyers waive their appraisal contingency to win the deal, but even when they do, it doesn't mean they can't panic and try to reopen the conversation. The third negotiation is the repair request. California homes are technically sold as is, but let's be honest. Buyers here almost always order a home inspection and ask for a credit or certain repairs if something big comes up. By the time sellers reach this stage, they're usually exhausted from weeks of cleaning, showings, dogs in the backyard, and weekend open houses. So when that repair request hits their inbox, they're often at their breaking point. As a buyer, be thoughtful. Don't nickel and dime a seller who's been living in a show-ready condition house for weeks. And as a seller, just breathe. It's normal. There's a strategy for everything. Now let's talk about negotiation styles. I see 2 types of buyers and sellers. First, the old school negotiators, the ones who feel like every deal must be a chess match. These are the folks who were taught that you should walk off the car lot 3 times and threaten to leave before accepting a price. I grew up with people like that. There's a competitive joy in the dance. But then there's the newer style, the just tell me what you want and let's get this done crowd. They don't want the back and forth, they just want efficiency. The real chaos happens is when these 2 styles collide. One wants negotiation for sport and the other wants to finish the deal by lunch. So if you're entering the market, take a moment to be honest with yourself about which style you fall into. And here's the truth. Speaking from my own recent experience, when I bought my last home, I had to come in at full asking, skip the repair request, and basically keep my mouth shut the entire way through. As someone who negotiates for a living, trust me, that stung. But that's what the market demanded for that property. For sellers, that means one thing. Price your home correctly for its location, size, and condition, and the market will reward you. For buyers, it means this. If the home you want is beautiful and priced right, it's likely going to have some competition. Therefore, don't walk in expecting a laundry list of concessions or discounts. Buyers that understand true value in properties for their location, size, and condition are the ones making strong offers and winning these homes. Now let's talk about lenders. I say this lovingly. The number 1 source of stress in a transaction is not buyers, not sellers, it's lenders. So pick a lender who is nimble, responsive, and can underwrite quickly. None of these final approval the day before closing nonsense. You want desktop underwriting approval, not just a pre-qualification. Sellers should absolutely insist on seeing the DU approval before accepting an offer. And for the record, cash is still king. No conditions, no appraisers, no underwriters who woke up in a bad mood. That doesn't mean cash buyers get to bully anybody or lowball offers, but it does mean they're usually the safest path to closing. Sellers often ask me, Nathan, how many showings should I expect before getting an offer? Well, it depends on your pricing. Price too high, and you might get crickets. Price at the market, and you usually see a steady stream of showings, maybe 5 a week or so. And your best offers will come in the first 3 to 4 weeks. Now, if you price below the market, and you'll probably get a flood of activity and possibly a bidding war. But let me warn you, overpricing your house doesn't help you, it helps your neighbor. I've seen overpriced homes push buyers toward nearby listings that suddenly look like great deals by comparison. Price smart, position properly, that's how you win. A quick word on earnest money. In California, we typically see a 1 to 3% deposit of the purchase price deposited into escrow. Many buyers think if I cancel during contingencies, I automatically get my money back. Nope. Both parties must agree to release the funds. Escrow cannot just send the money back to you. Same goes for sellers. You don't automatically get to keep the buyer's deposit if they default. It requires an agreement, and if an agreement isn't made, then we go to mediation. So everyone, be sure you're serious before you start wiring thousands of dollars around. Now let's talk about property condition at closing. Sold as is doesn't mean leave it dirty. The home must be delivered in the same condition it was in when the offer was accepted. And during that moment, homes are usually spotless. Do your future buyer a favor and hire a professional cleaner. Moving is exhausting. Let someone else handle the deep clean so you don't end up in a dispute on closing day. Finally, understand that once you get into escrow, the home is not sold yet, not even close. So many things can happen between acceptance and closing. Repairs, appraisals, lender issues, life events. It's a process, not a moment in time. But here's the good news. Just like childbirth, once it's over, the pain fades, and all you're left with is the joy of owning your home, or money in the bank if you're a seller. I look at my own house now and think, man, that was stressful, but so worth it. And that's exactly how you'll feel too. If you found any of this helpful, I'd be grateful if you liked this video and subscribed. And if you're buying or selling in California, reach out. I'd love to guide you through the process and make it as smooth as possible. I'm Nathan King, and I'll see you in the next video.